Anyway, chat, basketball. Why is it called basketball when there's two baskets? It should be basketball. It should be baskets balls. But then, because they use multiple balls throughout the court. Basketball. We are in 1994, the greatest year, the year of our Lord. Heading into the 1995 season and the 1995 draft. I said we'd get to the 96 tonight, but then Madden tried to ruin my fucking life. Anyway, this is what my Dallas Mavericks look like at this point in time. We left last night on the cliffhanger of, am I going to blow it up or not? Or do I think this team is good enough to win? And I got to be honest, I don't think so. Alonzo Mourning might be good enough with the supporting cast he has, but man, with Alonzo Mourning being my kind of superstar on the team, I just don't think it's going to be enough. We know chat's approach is all in 96, 97 draft, especially 96. I'm probably taking the same approach. I don't think this core can win before I get to that point. And if I were to bet on this core and be wrong, you guys have a wide open highway to try and win. In terms of picks for Washington, up to 4 first-rounders this year. I'll see what happens with the Blazers pick. Already 2 first-rounders in 96. It could technically be 3. Chat already has 4 first-round picks for next year's draft. Only 1 in 95, but you have an extra second-rounder. So it's an interesting spot to be in. There's not too much to change about who you have on the block here, really. I mean, you could put Lamont Murray, but you put him with Kobe Bryant, and that's fucking GG's. So you could put LeBradford up there, but he's not worth much. So that's pretty much it. Let me know, but aside from putting your 96 picks on the untouchable list, I would imagine wait and see what else you get, right? For myself, I'm gonna be putting the big names on the list, including that protected pick this year. Those are on the untouchable list for me, and for the trading block, I'm putting all the big names. All of the names are heading to that list, as I think we're both going to be taking the same approach here. By the way, the Osgood prediction that we had, I'm going to delete that and just return points because I don't remember what happened. But I think we're pretty much good to go then. I think we are. I think. For the Mavericks, I could run 10. I think 10 as the Mavericks makes some sense. And then for the Bullets, honestly, like 8 makes sense given who you have on the team right now. So let's do this. We get into simming. Who knows? Maybe we will still get to the 96 draft tonight. Depends on if either of us make the playoffs. But the big question is, who can land more draft picks? And the Bullets get an offer. Stacey Augmon for Nate McMillan, who's 30 and a second. Doesn't make too much sense for you guys to move Augmon for that. See how this season plays out. Will the AI take the approach of being more cautious with their picks? I get a trade offer of Cary Grant for Rex Chapman. Great Twitter follow, but I'm not going to do that. Mavericks at 4-10. Not going to do that either. The Bulls want Penny Hardaway and Blake for Horace Grant and BJ Armstrong. The only reason to do that would be if I think I could go for it. By bringing in Horace Grant for the year, it'd be Armstrong at point guard. And then thinking that like Simmons, Mourning, and Grant are enough. That's actually not the worst trade in the world if I wanted to go for it. But I'm not going to do it. If I'm getting rid of Penny, it needs to be for draft picks. Bullets get an offer. So Michael Williams is 28. And Scott Haywood, who is 21, with a B- potential, for Juwan Howard. Wow, he only has a C+. I mean, it would make you worse Bring in veteran Mark Aguirre. It would make you worse, but you might want to try to get more for Michael Williams than Juwan Howard, who apparently is just kind of okay. I don't really see anybody for chat being like, yeah, no, let's take that. So I think, pass on that as well. That was a very similar trade to what I had. Murray in a second for Terry Cummings. Terry Cummings is going to be old at this point. That's not worth it for you guys either. A lot of these trades haven't been worth it so far, if we're being honest. The AI might be a little bit more cautious with these trades. 22-year-old Mark Bonner with a B for 26-year-old Greg Foster. That you might as well take. You get worse, you get younger. You might as well take that. You're not going to get much else for Greg Foster, but that's a shit, why not type of thing. Make a team worse. Maybe that younger dude can be the guy. Penny Hardaway for 26-year-old Gary Payton and Seattle's first rounder in 95 via Philadelphia. Penny's only 23. Penny's such a great fucking player. Where are the mat? Right now I'm in a playoff spot. And again, the 95 drafts. Kevin Garnett. I presume Philly's pretty good as well, yeah. Philly's not. They're trying to turn their season around. Philly's pick could be a lottery pick. I might take that. It'll make my team worse. I'll get a first round pick. And then I can try to flip Gary as well. I might take that. Gary's under contract too. I'd have plenty of time to try to move him. Honestly, I'm going to do it. I got to make my team worse. Like I said, I don't believe the core of Penny, Alonzo, and Lionel Simmons can do it. Although we are in a playoff spot right now. But if I'm wrong, I'm screwed. We're in a playoff spot. Do I go for it? I got to be honest. Change of plan. Change of plan, chat. I'm going for it. I'm fucking going for it. I already got a couple picks in 96. I'm going for it for this year, and then I'll try to blow it up next year. But with the improvement I'm seeing from these guys, I'm going for it. I need to hope it lands me a shooting guard primarily. Let me use Harry Blake here if I can. I'm gonna go for it. Put my own 95 pick on the block. How are the Warriors doing? Actually, I should see where the Blazers are too. Warriors are third. Blazers are on the bubble. I'm going to add that Warriors pick. Whoops. Gonna add that Warriors pick as well. And I'm going to see if over the next month I can add, if I can add anybody else. Where were the Bulls as well? I forgot I had their pick. The Bulls are amazing. There we go. The 3 first I have that might not go to next year. Blake and McKee, I'm going to try to add instead of selling. I'm going to decline that Penny Hardaway trade. And I'm going to go for it. At least for this year. It might cost me some picks in that 96 draft, but I'm going for it. That trade for me makes no sense. Thank you. I have 4 first this year. You have 4 next year, correct? The Bullets. 21-year-old center Scott Haywood, who's a B- for a 25-year-old. Makes no sense at all. for what you guys are trying to do. I mean, it's lottery protected. It makes no sense if I'm going to go for it. It's lottery protected. No thank you, Orlando. You see 96 first rounder and you start to think, maybe. Dude, stop. I'm trying to make my team better, Orlando. Stop. You're not getting the guy. I'm not doing the penny trade either. Did my fucking trade block update? Because they're still sending me trades as if the old block is what's there. We are almost to this deadline. Second round pick swaps Malik Sealy. 24 B plus and a 71 for Anthony Gillespie. It's not worth it for you guys. Oh my god. Well, my indecision. I mean, you traded Greg Foster from them earlier this year. My indecision may have cost me. My indecision has cost me. The Bullets are at 16 and 26. The Mavericks are one game under 500. Currently the 8th seed. I'd like to think they can make the playoffs, and if they can go on a run. I have enough draft picks still from this year that might be able to make things happen. For you guys, currently bottom 4 in the league. Could very much be up for top odds in this upcoming Kevin Garnett draft. You guys weren't able to move Purvis Ellison unless you wanted to use your nuke now ahead of time. Michael Williams is out 2 to 4 weeks, but again, the nuke would be rough because you only got 2 good options to move. So it might just be better to just be like, shit, we're going to lose Purvis Ellison. Terry DeHere is getting better. I don't really have the depth that I would like. But at this point, I got to keep the team the way it is and hope they're good enough to win. My only other option is to use the nuke of my own. Lionel Simmons is going to test free agency, but his deal's not up this year. Doug Smith might leave. Penny and Mourning, I still have rights for. So I can still afford to go for it this year. Hope that I make the playoffs and then use my nuke next year if need be. So I'm in a decent enough spot. I might want to drop them in. By the way, it does run Cary Grant at shooting guard right now, which is great. If I drop that bench depth down to 8, that's awesome. That's running Cary Grant at shooting guard. But yeah, I'm going to drop my bench depth down to 8. And let's wrap up this season then, actually, really quickly, since I double-checked my contracts. I should just double-check yours really quickly before waiting for the deadline. If Stacey King were to leave me, that's fine. He's just a filler player. For you guys, Purvis Ellison doesn't want to come back, and you don't have anybody else to worry about. So you are going to lose Purvis Ellison at the end of the year, which I think is kind of what you guys were expecting anyway, to be honest. So decent run for the Mavericks here. We're losing to some decent teams, but Dallas is going for the playoffs with their own pick. See if that's the wrong choice. Is that the wrong choice? Almost threw my phone across the room. You ever try to plug in your phone and then you just throw it across the room for no reason? Just me? Just me? All right, heading into April, Mavericks looking like they're going to be playoff bound. 7 games, only 6 now over 500. Final week of the season. Sean Kemp back-to-back MVPs after going back to Seattle. That's incredible, first and foremost. Grant Hill in Cleveland won Rookie of the Year. Not bad. Paris Elliott, the 6th man of the year for the Clippers. Defensive player of the year, David Robinson. Won that twice now since going to Golden State. Most improved, Paris Elliott. Coach of the year, Charlotte's Daniel Weber, and yada yada. All-NBA first team is Jordan, Drexler, Kemp, Malone, and Shaq. Shaq's up to a 9. If I had Shaq instead of Alonzo Mourning, this series might be over right here. The defensive is Robinson, Leitner, Kemp, Stockton, and Jordan. And the all-rookie team is Grant Hill, Glenn Robinson, Jason Kidd, Pete Maxwell, and Donyell Marshall. So in the playoffs, we got Seattle and LA, Golden State, Houston, Sacramento, and Dallas, Utah, and Los Angeles. On the eastern side, it's Chicago, Philly, Indianapolis Pacers, the Indiana Pacers, and the Orlando Magic, Charlotte and Detroit, New Jersey, and Miami. Not bad. So let's see. Where did chat's bullets finish? And the answer is bottom 5. You guys finished 23rd out of 27 teams. Bottom 5's not bad for the sake of this lottery. Not at all. Especially with the movement that we've seen recently. And to get ready for the playoffs here. Cary Grant is out. Penny Hardaway is not 100%. Well, that it says Cary Grant's out. But now he says he might be able to play. I guess we'll see what happens with Cary. I guess we will. But we're going to be able to jump right into this. So why not? I'm not really against, not necessarily speed running the playoffs, but close to it. Let's take a look at my opposition in the form of the Sacramento Kings as we get ready for this playoff run. It is Sacramento with Tim Hardaway at point guard, Billy Owens at shooting guard, Robert Horry, chat's old friend Robert Horry at forward. Power forwards, Chris Webber and Wayman Tisdale. Center, Dwayne Anderson. I may have made a bad bet. I may have made an error here. It shows Charles Oturu as my starting shooting guard. I may have made a mistake. It says Grant can play, but it's not putting him in. So I guess we'll see how it goes. Game 1. Again, still best of 5 in the first round. Game 1 against Sacramento. We'll see what happens here. We are going to sim these games. We'll slow down in the fourth quarter if it's an elimination game. And Sacramento takes game 1, 114 to 103. 33 points, 13 rebounds from Alonzo Mourning, but secondary scoring wasn't quite there. 30 points from Tim Hardaway. And Sacramento up 1-0. Not ideal. Not ideal. How are we doing injury-wise? Oturu's still in at shooting guard. Game 2. Game 2. Did I make a bad bet for this season? Mavericks. Overtime win. The Dallas Mavericks 122 to 116 in overtime. 37 points from Zoe Simmons on 28. We saw another star step up. It's what we needed. And the Dallas Mavericks take game 2 in overtime to tie this series up at 1 apiece. As the Indiana Pacers have swept Shaquille O'Neal and the Orlando Magic. Wow. Would not have predicted that Shaq's Magic would have been swept Terry DeHere now moved into that starting shooting guard role. I'm okay with that. Let's go, Terry. Game 3. Game number 3. Oh, criminy. Well, GG's. GG's. This game was over before it even started. 131-92. Outscored 41-13 in the first. Four players with at least 20 points. And the Mavericks will now have to win 2 straight. Golden State sweeps Houston. The Lakers sweep Utah. And Charlotte in 4 over Detroit. Wow. Oh, man. We go to game 4. It's got to be a win, or the Mavericks will fall in the first round, and the idea of not getting rid of Penny Hardaway, at least this year, would have turned out to have been a mistake. It would have been a pick for the 95 draft. The Dallas Mavericks eliminated in 4 games by the Sacramento Kings, 109-97, in that decisive game 4. At least I have my answer. At least I have my answer as to whether or not this core is enough. And the answer is probably not. Probably not. I think Alonzo Mourning did what he could. Honestly, you could argue that Alonzo Mourning and Lionel Simmons are good enough. I wasn't impressed with Penny, but he was playing hurt. It's a tough call. It is a tough call as to whether or not the team's good enough. And to be honest, what I do moving forward might very well be decided by the draft. But that wasn't what I was hoping for in terms of a run. The Sonics fall to the Clippers. The lower seed advances in 3 out of 4 matchups in the West, whereas the top 4 seeds all advance in the East. The final 4, Sacramento, Golden State, Chicago, and Charlotte. Jordan and the Bulls finally tired of blowing it, perhaps. Bulls and Warriors in the final. Will it be another championship for Michael Jordan? No, it will not. Jordan still won MVP. You don't see that too often. Jordan wins MVP despite the loss. But the Golden State Warriors have won the NBA title. Wow. You don't see that too often. I mean, the Warriors in the final. Chris Mullin, Mitch Richmond, David Robinson. It was good enough for them to get the job done. But yeah, 25 points from Mullin in the finals. Jordan averaged 35. A one-man unit to try and lead the team there. And it wasn't enough. Get Jordan off of the Bulls. They are wasting him at this stage. The Golden State Warriors, 1995 NBA champions. Wow. Jordan still winning MVP is cool as shit. Larry Bird has retired. Godspeed, sir. Kiki, Larry Nance, Rolando Blackman, Eddie Johnson. Rolando Blackman? Blackman. Danny Ainge, Sal Thompson, John Paxson. Kurt Rambis is gone. Larry Bird heading straight to the Hall of Fame. You're damn right. Has the 33 retired by the Celtics. Can you believe it? In terms of historic changes, welcome both Toronto and Vancouver. The Canadian expansion is here. There's also a rule change. They are forbidding hand checking or contact by the defender with their hands to impede the movement of an opponent that possesses the ball. The Heat have a uniform and floor change. The Knicks have a wholesale change, as do the Houston Rockets, as do the Sonics. The Hawks change their logo and uniforms. So a lot of changes heading into the 95-96 season, to say the least. And we'll have an expansion draft to go through here as well. So in terms of the league realignment, the Mavericks in the Midwest Conference with Utah, Denver, Houston, San Antonio, Minnesota, and Vancouver, while Chat's Bullets are in the Atlantic Division with Philadelphia, Boston, Miami, New York, Orlando, and New Jersey. We go to a very interesting draft lottery. The Chat, with the 5th best odds of winning at 5.8%, the Mavericks at 7. But that Portland pick is top 3 protected. So either I get a decent draft pick, or if that lands top 3, it goes to 1996. This is a very interesting lottery for both of us. And of course, you have to remember as well, you have the picks factored in here too for the 2 new expansion teams. This will be an interesting one. That's why it goes to 13. Phoenix stays at 13. So technically, we each move back too, I believe. Minnesota stays at number 12. No surprise there. The Denver Nuggets stay at 11. The New York Knicks stay at 10. Here we go. At 9, the Dallas Mavericks stay. So I will be getting the Blazers pick this year, 9th overall. Or trade value. At 8, the Boston Celtics stay. No movement so far. At 7, the Washington Bullets stay. Neither of us moved. At 6, the Milwaukee Bucks have moved up. The Cavs land at 6. The Vancouver Grizzlies will have the 5th overall pick. The Toronto Raptors will have the 4th overall pick. So the Cavs were the big losers here. The Milwaukee Bucks are in the top 2. The Spurs will pick 3rd. Damn. With their fucking cardboard, or not cardboard, but the cups. You know what I mean. Will the Bucks win the lottery? No, they will not. Milwaukee selects 2nd, meaning that the number 1 overall pick belongs to the Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks. 1st overall, as we get a look there at the rest of the picks. The Mavericks with picks number 28 and 29. Fucking sweet. And yeah. We have our own pick as well at 19. So 9, 19, 28, and 29 for the Mavericks. The Bullets with pick number 7. The Atlanta Hawks have the number 1 pick. God. It's going to be an interesting draft.